okay, we're going to graph z squared equals x squared divided by 4 plus y squared divided by 9. This graphs to be a cone. I recognize it because it's in standard form. This equation is in standard form. If you didn't recognize the equation, you could use traces to help you recognize it. You could plug in a constant like 1 for z and recognize that you would get a trace that's the equation of an ellipse. 1 equals x squared divided by 4 plus y squared divided by 9. So horizontal traces are ellipses. If you put in x or y equals some constant and solve for either z or the other variable, you'll get a pair of lines. And that's the telltale sign of a cone. And a cone in geometry looks like two ice cream cones stuck together at the sharp ends. So that's what you want to draw. Okay, so how do we draw that? Well, let's start by drawing a trace of the cone, an elliptical trace. So let me draw an elliptical trace, a horizontal trace. There we go. And then a pair of intersecting lines. Like so. And then I'm going to try and reproduce that horizontal trace. It doesn't have to look exactly the same, but it should look elliptical. And you got yourself a cone. And have an eraser handy in case you draw something you don't like. Okay, there's your cone. You can coordinatize it by putting in the various axes. There's the origin right there. I'm going to go up and down from the origin. If I can line up my ruler here, which is not easy to do on this tablet. There we go. Whoops, that was supposed to be dotted. Having trouble lining things up. Okay, here we go. Okay, that's supposed to be the z-axis. And then the y-axis, like so. And the x-axis. Good enough. Now, if you want a little more information, like let's say where the top trace is located. Let's say you plugged in, and you don't have to make your scales the same on both axes. So let's say you plugged in 1 for z, then you have the equation 1 equals x squared divided by 4 plus y squared divided by 9 as your trace. That's this elliptical trace right here. Oh, with the point 0, 0, 1 as your center. That's this point right here. Okay, so if you want to mark your scaling correctly, you could just put in a relevant point. So let's say let's talk about what this point right here would have to be. Well, from the center of the ellipse, you're going to go out a distance of 3. So that this point would have to be, okay, 0 on the x, 3 on the y, and 1 on the z. Whereas this point right here, if you go out parallel with the x-axis, so over on this point we went parallel with the y-axis, here we're going parallel with the x, this point would have to be, well, the z-coordinate would be 1 still, but now the x-coordinate is out 2, and the y-coordinate is 0. So if you wanted to put in some information, one easy way to do that is just label a couple of points.